Baba Yaga, a witch from Slavic folklore who dwells deep in the forest inside a hut that stands on giant chicken legs. The hut rotates constantly and can relocate at will, surrounded by a fence made from human bones topped with skulls whose eye sockets glow at night. She flies through the air in a large mortar, using the pestle to steer, and a broom made of silver birch to sweep away her tracks. Her appearance shifts between an emaciated crone and a figure with iron teeth. She devours those who fail her tests or answer her riddles incorrectly. Visitors must approach her hut correctly, reciting specific phrases, or risk being killed and eaten immediately. She possesses knowledge of dark magic and can curse those who displease her with transformation, madness, or death. Her servants include 3 horsemen representing morning, day, and night, who ride past her hut at their designated hours. She tests visitors in the forest. The next creature needs no test, only your presence. Dullahan, a headless horseman from Irish mythology who rides a black horse while carrying his own decaying head under one arm. The head has a hideous grin stretched across its face with eyes that dart in all directions, able to see across vast distances even in complete darkness. The flesh is described as having the color and texture of moldy cheese, and the entire head glows with a phosphorescent light. When he rides, he uses a human spine as a whip to drive his horse forward. The horse itself breathes flames from its nostrils, and its hooves strike sparks. He travels at supernatural speed, and wherever he stops riding, a person dies. The creature cannot be locked out by any door or gate, as all barriers open at his approach. If someone watches him ride, he punishes them by throwing a basin of blood directly into their face, marking them for death. Speaking to him or acknowledging his presence brings immediate fatal consequences. He is completely silent except for the sound of his horse's hooves. Gold is the only substance that repels him. He rides the open roads. The next one waits in the shadows of trees. Black Anise, a blue-faced hag from English folklore with iron claws and a taste for human flesh, particularly children. She lives in a cave carved from rock by her own clawed hands, located in the Dane Hills of Leicestershire. The cave sits at the base of an ancient oak tree where she hides among the branches, waiting for victims to pass below. Her skin has a sickly blue-gray color. Her teeth are filed to sharp points, and her fingers end in talons made of iron that can slice through skin and bone. She hunts at twilight, leaping from her tree to snatch children and lambs, dragging them back to her cave where she devours them alive. After feeding, she skins her victims and tans their hides, hanging the processed skins around her waist as a grotesque belt. The cave walls are reportedly covered in the dried skins of previous victims. She can smell humans from miles away and has strength far beyond any mortal. She hides in branches above ground. The next creature hangs beneath them. Vitala, an undead spirit from Hindu mythology that inhabits corpses and hangs upside down from trees in cremation grounds. These entities possess bodies that have not been properly cremated, reanimating the flesh and using it as a vessel. They dangle by their feet from branches in areas where the dead are burned or buried. The possessed corpse shows signs of advanced decay, with skin that appears gray or greenish. Despite this deterioration, the body moves with unnatural agility and strength. They have the ability to reanimate repeatedly by finding another suitable corpse to inhabit. These creatures feed on human flesh and blood, with a preference for intestines and other internal organs. They attack travelers who pass through cremation grounds at night, often disguising themselves as normal humans to lure victims closer. Beyond their physical threat, they possess extensive knowledge of the past, present, and future, and can reveal secrets if properly controlled. They can drive humans insane through possession. Some texts describe their ability to spread disease and pestilence. Controlling one requires powerful magical knowledge, and they constantly attempt to trick their captor through riddles and deception. These spirits possess the dead. The creature ahead existed before death itself. Cipactli, a primordial sea monster from Aztec mythology described as part crocodile, part fish, and part toad, with mouths covering every joint of its body. Each mouth is filled with razor-sharp teeth that constantly gnash and bite. The creature existed before the creation of the earth, swimming in the void of the primordial waters. The gods Tezcatli and Quetzalcoatl needed to create land for humans, but this creature consumed everything that fell into the water. They transformed themselves into giant serpents and descended to battle it. The fight was catastrophic, with the monster biting off Tezcatlipoca's foot while the gods tore the creature apart. From its dismembered body, the gods created the earth itself. Its skin became the surface of the land, its hair transformed into trees and vegetation, its eyes became springs and caverns, and its mouths turned into rivers and valleys. However, because the creature was killed to create the world, the earth remains eternally hungry, demanding constant blood sacrifice to satisfy the mouths that still exist within it. From the monster that became the world to the spirit that announces its end, Banshee, a female spirit from Irish folklore whose wailing scream announces an imminent death in certain families. She appears as either a young woman or an old hag, depending on the age of the person about to die. When manifesting as a young woman, she wears a white or gray cloak and has long, pale hair. In her hag form, she appears withered and ancient, dressed in a green or black shroud. Her most defining characteristic is her cry, known as keening, which sounds like a combination of a woman's scream and an animal's wail. The sound is so piercing it causes physical pain to those who hear it. She typically appears at night outside the home of the doomed person. Her eyes are perpetually red and swollen from continuous weeping. She cannot be approached or spoken to, and attempting to confront her results in her vanishing. Those who see her washing bloody clothing in a river know that a family member will die violently in battle. Her wails warn of death on land. The next killer lurks beneath the surface. Kappa, a water demon from Japanese folklore that inhabits rivers, ponds, and lakes. It appears as a child-sized creature with scaly reptilian skin, webbed hands and feet, and a turtle-like shell on its back. The most distinctive feature is a bowl-like depression on top of its head that holds water. This water is the source of its supernatural strength, and if the bowl is emptied, the creature becomes weak and immobilized. They have a beak-like mouth and emit a strong fishy odor. Their primary method of killing is dragging victims underwater and drowning them, then extracting and consuming a mythical organ called the shirikodama, believed to be located in the anus. They accomplish this extraction by reaching up through the victim's rectum. Beyond this grotesque feeding habit, they also pull children and animals into the water and challenge humans to sumo wrestling matches. Their grip is supernaturally strong, making escape nearly impossible. However, they are obsessed with politeness. If someone bows to one, it will reflexively bow back, spilling the water from its head bowl and losing its power. Japanese rivers hold one danger. Scandinavian waters hold another. Nucken, a shape-shifting water spirit from Scandinavian folklore that drowns people by luring them into lakes, rivers, and streams. In its true form, it appears as a grotesque humanoid with pale, waterlogged skin, long, tangled hair filled with seaweed, and eyes that reflect no light. Most often, it disguises itself as a beautiful white or gray horse grazing near the water's edge. When someone approaches to pet or ride it, the horse allows them to mount, then immediately charges into the water. Once in deep water, the skin becomes adhesive, gluing the rider to its back as it dives to the bottom and drowns its victim. It also appears as an attractive young man, playing enchanted music on a violin. The music is supernaturally beautiful and irresistible, drawing listeners closer to the water until they walk in and drown. The music can also cause madness or death even without entering the water. The creature is especially active at dusk and dawn. Showing its steel or speaking its name 3 times can sometimes break its power. These creatures kill individuals. Dragons decided the fate of entire civilizations.